How would you rate yourself if I asked you, how good are you at giving direct and honest feedback? For a long time, I wasn't very good at it. And just this past week, one of my favorite clients paid me a compliment when it really wasn't meant that way, but I took it as a compliment. She said, Scott, you are brutally honest. And here's why I think it's a compliment. Because for years, I was really reluctant. I was hesitant. I'll be honest, I ran away from giving tough feedback. When a performance issue came up, I'll be honest, in the beginning, I hate to admit it, but I ran from it. And that changed. And I'll tell you why. It was through a coaching relationship that I had. My second business coach, he was listening to me complain about a manager. And he said to me, well, have you expressed all this to the person? No. Why not? Well, it feels kind of mean, feels, unkind, and I don't want to hurt the guy's feelings. And to be honest, I don't even know if he could take it. So the coach says to me, this is a much longer conversation, but what he said was at the end, let me make sure I understand this. You're not going to give feedback to this person because you think they can't take it and you don't want to feel unkind. And if the person doesn't improve, you're going to fire them, right? Right. So he said, so somehow it feels more kind to just not give him feedback, to withhold this from him and then fire him. And he didn't even have to finish. I got it. It's like, wow, how ridiculous is that? And from that point on, it wasn't always easy. And sometimes I didn't do it as quickly. I didn't give that direct, honest, brutally honest feedback as quickly as I should have. But that stayed with me. And it's so important for us as leaders and for leaders who are leading other managers, right, who are leading people, to get more comfortable with direct, honest feedback. So I used this tool, this one-page graphic called Above and Below the Line. Above the line is simply the things that you want: ownership, responsibility, accountability. Below the line are the things that you don't want: blame, denial, excuses, right? So how can you get your team operating really from the place of the default is operating above the line? Well, I'll share some things that worked for me. The first thing is making sure that every position has very clear, documented expectations. And when you're going over these expectations with a team member, it's really important to get them to repeat back what they think they heard you say or their understanding of the document, so there's no misunderstandings, so that you can hear it in their words. Because let's face it, sometimes we talk and people zone out, right? You may be zoning out now a little bit. And it's really important to make sure that they heard what you tried to communicate. The next two things go hand in hand: accountability and feedback. And the game changer for me was when I started to implement a weekly, without exception, meeting with a scorecard. So every person on the team has 2 to 5 numbers that are objective. These are the most important metrics that show success in their roles. And each week in the meeting, they know if they're on or off track because they're seeing these numbers on the scorecard. So now, instead of them getting quarterly, if you do a quarterly review or an annual review, I know a lot of people who don't do that. So they're never getting feedback, or they're only getting complaints from their manager when they're not doing something well. And the scorecard allows them to, and you to, celebrate wins also, which is the fourth thing, right? So just to recap, set clear expectations, make sure that there's a feedback loop, make sure there's accountability, and make sure that you're celebrating wins. Because in our industry, we demand, our customers demand, our referral sources demand, insurance companies demand a lot from us and from our team members. And there's so many ways to mess up. Let's make sure that we're celebrating wins also, so that our team members don't just feel like they're getting beat up all day. All right. So if you need a copy of Above and Below the Line graphic, just email me, scott@thegrowthleague.com, and I'll shoot it over to you. And I recommend posting it. Put it up on the wall. See if anybody asks questions about it. If they don't, obviously you're going to have to explain it to them. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate. Reach out. email me, or click the link below this video and book a call. See you in the next video.